Welcome to Human Potential at Work, the show where we explore social impact, inclusion, and empowerment of everyone, including persons with disabilities. Your host is Debra, CEO of Rue Global Impact and co-founder and chairwoman of Billion Strong, an identity and empowerment organization designed to bring billions of voices of persons with disabilities together. To join the global community and to donate to the cause, visit billion-strong.org. That's billion-strong.org. And now, on to the episode.
Hello, everyone. My name is Debra Rue, and I am the CEO of Rue Global Impact. And I also am the executive chair of Billion Strong. Today, I'm very excited to have a returning guest and a new guest coming on the show today. I have Kate Nash and I have Graeme Moffat. And I hope I said that right, Graeme. And we're going to be talking about a new book, My Purple Space, that if you don't know about My Purple Space, if you really want to, and My Purple Light Up. So, and of course, everybody knows I love purple because purple is just the best color. And I love that Kate wore purple today for the interview as well. But I'm going to start with doing a quick visual description. I'm a mature woman. As y'all know, I'm not saying old anymore. I'm a mature woman with gray and white and purple hair. And I have on a black and greenish dress, and I have on black glasses today, and I'm at my son's house. So I've got this really cool color behind me with reflections coming from the mirror. So Kate, let's go to you.
Debra, thank you first for the invitation. Lovely to be with you today. So I, again, I'm a mature woman. I have straight auburn hair, and I'm wearing a very colourful dress today with more than a purple hue about me and a silver necklace.
And Graeme, least but not last.
Thanks, Debra.
Last but not least, in that.
Again, thanks for having us on. I'm a man in the early 40s. I have no hair, or I would have purple hair probably. I have no hair. I'm bald, with a little beard, and I'm wearing a blue shirt and a grey waistcoat.
And we must say it. You have the best accent like ever. You have a great, great accent. So compliments. So Kate, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little about yourself and then introduce Graeme.
Oh, happy to do that. So I head up a fantastic organization called Purple Space. And we're 7 years old. And the purpose of the organization is to support organizations to set up and to deliver really high-performing, high-impact disability employee resource groups, or business resource groups, as they're often called, or networks. Small team, massive global reach. We currently have 2,000 leaders that we work with across nearly 200 organizations. And the subtotal of the employees that they work with includes 1 million employees with disability. I've worked in this space forever. We are fellow travelers, Debra, and I currently live on the south coast of Wales. I go backwards and forwards to London doing the work that we do. And I'm introducing today my fantastic colleague, Graeme, who I've worked with now for a wee while. We stole him from HSBC for a temporary period, but let me hand over to you, Graeme, so that we can share with the audience what you do.
Thank you, Kate. As you said, yeah, I'm an HSBC UK employee who has the distinct privilege of having a secondment to Purple Space and the most incredible of roles as the #Purple Light Up campaign director. And I have been an advocate for well-being, specifically a lot around mental health for many years on my own journey, and then more recently got involved in the disability space and had the incredible fortune, right time, right place to apply for this role and really get invested in it. It's incredible.
And now you're part of our community, Graeme. So I think it's gotten your blood now, right?
Yes, very much so. I've definitely got the bug to do more and make a difference and see the change. It's incredible.
Kate does that to a lot of us. It's like she's magical and spellbinding, and yeah, and there's so much to talk about. And I want to remind the audience that I've had Kate on before, so we'll make sure that we include those links so that you can go back and watch it. And you'll see how much they've grown even since she was on last time. So it's very exciting. And what they're doing is for all of us. We all need to be part of it. They're also, I'm very proud they were one of the first teams that I came to telling them about what we're doing with Billion Strong. And Kate's like, I'm in. You don't even have to tell me what you're doing. I'm in. And that's who we are as this community. And that's what's so beautiful. So before we start diving into all the really fun things we want to talk about, can we talk about the book first, Kate? Because I'm very excited and I just pre-ordered it. And I know that you said you were going to send me a copy, but I actually wanted to buy a copy because that's another way that we support each other. So, and as soon as I can, I'll do a review because reviews also will support what you're doing. So just reminding the audience, I'm always nagging about reviews, but it's very important to us. So go, Kate, tell us about your new book.
Wonderful. Well, look, big thank you. Deeply, deeply appreciated, Deborah. So let me give you a quick synopsis of the book. So this is my second book, Secrets and Big News, was the book that precipitated the launch of Purple Space. But this book is altogether different. It is largely but autobiographical. So it is the story of my life, and particularly when I first acquired my own disability, juvenile chronic arthritis or rheumatoid arthritis, when I was 15 years old. And over the years, like many of us who navigate difficult life experiences, disability or mental health conditions, or people who may stammer, people with visual impairments, we know that we are a broad audience. It can be really hard for us to be out and loud and proud. So the purpose of the book is really to make it easier for people to notice the things that we need to do in order to build our inner confidence, build our resilience, and be prepared, I suppose, to navigate those tricky paths. But it's also chock full of lessons. One of the things that really mattered to me was not just to offer up some insights about the things that have helped me, but equally to offer up some ideas and lessons learned for the employers community. So yeah, I'm incredibly excited. It was a labor of love. I would say it nearly killed me, but it didn't. It was a lot of work, but made it easier for the support for people like yourself, Deborah, fellow travelers who know that we need to keep building the literature base that helps us to build a richer and a more meaningful understanding about our lives. You know, although we face challenge, it's not all bad news, and we find ways of developing insights about human beings. So yeah, I'm excited. Comes out on the 3rd of October.
I know, I'm so excited. And I agree with you. I've written 3 books, and it is really so much harder than people were, at least it was for me. And doing that audible recording for my last book, whoa. But at the same time, like you said, we learn stuff by all this literature. And even if you go back to my book, some of my books, well, all of my books right now, they have dated material in there. My last book, Inclusion Branding, came out in 2017. That was like 100 years ago, wasn't it? It's like, wow. And I said some things in the social media chapter that, by the way, I wouldn't recommend you doing. So it's so important that it continues to come out and that we continue to update, because actually we are making some progress. We got a lot of work to do, but we are making progress. And one thing that you taught me, Kate, you just really taught me to, and I know I would have gotten there, but you taught me it sooner, which was really, really to understand the value that our community is actually bringing to the table, which is what, my, Purple Light Up is about, but to really champion what we've already done. But you brought it up in I feel like a different way, sort of a way that was very authentic. And it was a way that we could all say, okay, all right, that's a good way to do it. And I don't even know if you understand how I'm bringing this up to you, but you just taught me to look at it in a way that I had not looked at before. And I think a lot of us are I know that Graeme, we can just ignore Kate and just talk about her. She's amazing. So
She really is.
yeah, and she looks at the world in a way that it's just very beautiful and inclusive, but it's not inspirational, Cornish, and I don't know. I just find it very fascinating. So I want to thank you for that ongoing leadership that you just naturally have, Kate. And another reason why we have to bring in leaders with lived experiences with disabilities. So let's talk a little bit about the company first and bring people up to speed if they haven't listened to the first episode. And then I know that Graeme is going to talk to us about the wonderful purple light up that he has added so much value to, so much value to. I know he's been a real gift, and God bless HSBC for doing this. So thank you to them as a brand. So Kate, let me turn it over to you again.
Yeah. Okay. So quick update. We grow and we grow each year, and it's 7 years old. I suppose as we approach our anniversary, what we wanted to do was to take a fresh look at our strategy. So I'm delighted to say that in the autumn, you will see us launch a new strategy. On the one hand, there's no large departures. We're going to keep doing what we keep on doing. We're not going to do anything silly like make fridges. Not that it's a silly thing to do, but we stick with the knitting. And in addition to that, we're starting to develop the tools and the collateral and the publications and know-how to support people to better develop their inner confidence. So there's a new pillar of work that is being introduced to help people to learn some of the tricks and the flicks that we learn along the way in relation to building our inner confidence. So it's a really big part of our work. The other things that you'll start to see do more of is in relation to supporting people to best use the purple light up. I'm going to let Graeme talk about the concept that he introduced for us called leader to leader. And this is really a way of helping disability ERG leaders to talk to their chief executives. It was an inspirational idea, and Graeme has led the march for us. It's extraordinary. But I think the other thing I would add in terms of what we're doing is we focus our work on 4 key pillars. So the inner confidence piece you've just heard me talk about. The second is the purple light up, mobilizing the community around 3rd of December, our mark of respect to United Nations Day of Persons with Disability, and really to support the work that you do, Debra, and others around identity. You know, as we know, so many of us, we have different disabilities, different impairments, and it could be quite hard for us to understand the unifying force that is central to our lives, which is often about a degree of nervousness of bringing our authentic selves to work. So Purple Light Up is nothing but an instrument to celebrate who we are, celebrate our contributions, and to support the work, as I say, that you and others do to help people to self-identify with the experience of disability. And then lastly, the other 2 pillars is around ERG Global Impact. That working group is headed up by the fantastic Darren Rowan over at Eli Lilly. And he and our members are doing a fantastic job to build ERG global community. We're going to see hubs where different ERG leaders from different parts of the world come together and start to network and develop peer group sessions together. And then lastly, ERG Impact is really about supporting us to deliver a maturity model of networkology. Brendan Roach, our Director of Strategy and Networkology, is so central to the modernization of our networkology maturity model. There's a few on the market out there, but they're a little vanilla. They're brilliant, she said quickly, recovering, but what we do so best is really pull together the learning around the world. And so our next stage maturity model. So yeah, we're buzzing, we're busy, we're always busy, but yeah, it's good stuff.
Well, before you turn it over to Graeme.
Yeah.
Before you turn it over to Graeme, because I want to spend a lot of the program talking about what Graeme's doing, but I just want to talk a little bit more about what you're doing, because what I've seen are ERGs. If a brand, I see a lot of brands that are trying to, include VR, they're called different things, employee resource groups, business resource groups. But I also see corporate brands making mistakes and actually doing more harm. I won't name that. There's one brand I watched doing it, and they made their employees so mad that multiple people quit. So a brand has to be very careful how you implement an ERG and how you sustain an ERG. And I say to everybody that I work with, you need to go over and be part of what Kate Nash is doing. They have 1 million already. And, you can try to do it yourself. Be careful. But it's just such a good program, and everybody learns from each other, and it ties to the identity. So I was just wondering if you wouldn't spend just a couple of minutes, Kate, talking about why a brand should join your ERG group. I mean, once again, they can do their own. And I've seen some people in the United States doing it, and they scare me so bad because I went to one big brand and a person was saying, I feel like a proud mama. Look at you. And I'm thinking, okay, no. Let's be professional here. This is good. This is good for the brand. This is good. This is not something to play with. This is not, oh, won't you feel cute about? No, this is a business strategy. So if you just wouldn't mind, Kate, talking about why should they do this?
Yeah. Wonderful words. Wise words. Deborah, I think the beginning, the middle, and the end of disability employee resource groups is the ability for employers to systematically understand how they can tap into the lived experience of people with disabilities. ERGs do many things, but the two key things that they do is, one, keep their organizations real, and they keep their feet to the fire when it comes to learning directly from people about the things that that organization may be doing well, because the chances are they are doing some things well and some things extraordinarily well. But as we know, there are often barriers, unseen barriers, and people with disabilities often have a very difficult, more challenged lived experience in the workplace and things that are really going wrong. So at its most simplest form, ERGs are a test bed where organizations can use those networks as sounding boards. What's going well that we need to do more of? And where are the gremlins? Where are the missiles at 6 inches below the waterline that if we don't address, we're going to make it much more difficult for people with disabilities to flourish. So it's basically, they are the most elegant, most cost-effective way for employers to really tap into that lived experience, not sporadically and every 5 years and a few focus groups and it's once and it's done, but not at all, to systematically and sequentially really tap into that lived experience. But of course, the second thing that they do, and importantly, is help people with disabilities to understand our own internal barriers. We often talk about the soft bigotry of low expectation that can sometimes have not just as much as an impact as physical barriers or attitudinal barriers, but more of an impact, because the corrosive notion of pity that we often face in our lives can have a really deleterious effect in how we feel about ourselves, how we are expectant or not of our employer to deliver a workplace adjustment, how we consider ourselves and our self-worth. So that's what disability ERGs do. They're that sweet spot where they help to improve what I call the top of the shop, the policies, the practices, the procedures, but equally help all of us notice some of those inner barriers that we really have to get on top of if we want careers and we want to flourish in our work and we want to be everything. So they support people to get together and talk about some of the things that we need to do. So those are the values, I would say. And, we work with some fantastic brands. Debra, you know them, and you've worked with many of them, the Googles and the Twitters and the Microsofts and the PwCs and the EYs and the HSBCs and the GSKs, etc., as well as local public sector organisations, government departments, police forces, health bodies. Yeah, and it's about fast tracking.
Nothing like it. Yeah, there's nothing like it. And I mean, you can get ERG consultants, but if you really want to include people with disabilities, you need to be talking to Kate Nash's group, because this is the right way to do it. And once again, there's danger to your brand if you do it wrong. It can really blow up in your face. Please don't create an ERG resource group just to do your accessibility testing, for example. Don't take advantage of your employees. Let your employees help you be a better brand and be an employer of choice. So thank you, Kate, for that. So, all right, let's talk to Graeme about Purple Light app. What are we going to do? It was ridiculous last year. It was so much bigger. I can't believe how much it's grown. So let's talk about this, Graeme.
Yeah, thanks, Debra. And I think, for me coming in last year, just to see what was involved last year, to see the growth, we had a really good chance to reflect on what we witnessed, both in terms of numbers, but also in the conversations that were had. We had a chance to reach out and speak to a lot of the community to understand how did they use it, what was the benefit of getting involved in Purple Light Up, and how did it move forward. So, I think it's really interesting as we're coming up on the 5th anniversary of Purple Light Up kicking off, and as we've seen it grow. Last year, you said the numbers were incredible. We had over 300 organisations, 253 million followers, and incredible figures. But what was really interesting last year was the launch of Leader to Leader. Hearing from our CEOs, having conversations with the ERG or network leaders, and really bringing to life what was important to them, and really interested to see the different variants of conversations, the different topics they brought up, and where they were on their journey. And really, I was encouraged incredibly so by the desire to get involved last year, when we maybe launched it quite close to the timeline. We didn't give a lot of time for some organisations to get involved, but we witnessed an incredible, over 70 videos were produced, 186,000 views, and it was a momentous achievement. But what we really heard was that they wanted to continue that. They wanted to continue that aspect of really building the conversation. So this year, leading in with the aspects that Kate talked about what we're focusing on, we're inviting the Leader to Leader conversation to happen this year again, and we're looking for organisations to talk about the importance and the role that inner confidence has within their organisation. We already have an incredible volume of the organisations signing up. I have had this incredible opportunity to speak to many wonderful people in our community about what it means to them, what are they wanting to achieve from it, how they're moving forward. But the one thing that stuck with me recently is the aspect of thinking, what happens after Purple Light Up? So plan, get involved, make sure you've got your purple on, clothes, lights, make sure you're celebrating. But what are you doing with it afterwards? What does the Monday after Purple Light Up look like? How do we use that? How do we shout out to our CEOs and say, this is what we saw, this is what we want to do with it? And we have very much focused this year on making getting involved in Purple Light Up as simple as possible. We've produced a fantastic member support pack to, at all levels, allow organisations to get involved in Purple Light Up and Leader to Leader, support them with their conversations. But one piece we've really focused on is giving them the tools to allow them to look at that impact. What did they see? How are they going to use it? How are they going to change it? What do they want to achieve next year? And have that reflection piece, post Light Up through December and beginning of next year, and go, okay, we heard you. What are we going to do now? And whenever I say that, whenever I think of that, like you said, Debra, I hear Kate coming through my conversations with her from the beginning of this year, and it is, that purple bug. I have it. I'm very enthusiastic about what this year is going to hold, but more so, I'm incredibly excited about what happens next year. What do we see in January, February that starts to really make those changes happen? I think it's going to be an incredible experience the next few months, getting this over the line and seeing what the future holds.
Yeah, and the numbers are just ridiculous. I know your social media numbers last year were just ridiculous. And that is so powerful for these brands because our community is looking. We want to see which brands are trying to include us. We don't want you to be perfect. We know you're not. But if you're not in these conversations, we're just going to assume you. I have people coming to me all the time saying, which brand should I work for, Deborah? And I said, you should work for the ones that are including us and openly telling us that they care about us and they have strong ERG groups and they have strong partnerships with brands like HSBC. So it's very exciting. So now you're tying into the research information that we so desperately need in our community as well. Not to mention, Kate, with 1 million people involved in your ERGs, I mean, think of the opportunities to learn. It's such a silly thing to say, but we don't even know who we are as a community. We don't know. We can throw numbers around. We're 1.7 billion or whatever. But I am part of the community, but I have to tell you I'm part of the community. Can I tell you I'm part of the community and be proud that I'm neurodiverse and a little wound up with my ADHD and dyslexia? Or do I have to be scared that I tell you that and maybe you just think I'm just making something up so I can be included? So we still have some pretty significant dynamics to deal with and nuances. And I think efforts that you're making will help continue to give us that information we need. I know you are, like me, very supportive of the Valuable 500 and our delightful Caroline Casey. And I'm so glad you have this resource available to the Valuable 500 as well as every other brand. And as you said, not just corporate brands, everyone is welcome. But so I think that's very exciting that you're doing that. But Graeme, what else when it comes to the leader to leader, can you capture some of these conversations so that we could take some of this data and start? It seems, let me just back up for a second. Seems if you're a corporate brand, if you're looking for an opportunity to fund something that we need, and you need to, looks like there's an opportunity here, with the work that Graeme has created, with the leader to leader and all of the stuff they're doing and all the content they're getting to come in and support us taking this information and growing it in a way that we can benefit from it. So just a thought there, but let me turn it back over to you, Graeme or Kay.
Yeah, I think the interest piece is how do we collate that information and how do we pull it in, and given our organisations the tools to do their own reflection, to really produce something that tells a story about what did they do, what did they see, and then we'll curate that kind of information. How do we use it? And in our recent videos, for example, we're pulling out snippets of previous conversations from last year. We absolutely want to curate the information from there. What that looks like, it'll probably be a busy December reflecting on what we saw. I know I joked that last year I felt as if I was on social media overload. I wanted to make sure, as my first year, I wanted to make sure that I acknowledged every single organisation that took part. Very quickly realised I don't think that's humanly possible, but it's incredible just to make sure you're picking out those snippets. What did an organisation say? But more importantly, what did their people say? What did you hear? What did you see? Pull that out. So we're hoping to give our organisations the empowerment that they do that. We'll then look at that and see how do we use that, how do we help support and grow that into the future. Then this time next year, how do we use what we heard to promote next year's Purple Light Up? And it will be about that aspect of growing and learning. It will be a very exciting time to reflect afterwards. The 3rd of December lands. The Monday for us will be very different to other organisations. We'll have that same bit of, what did we see? What are we going to do with it? And certainly Kate and I had that conversation at the start of this year about what we saw and how is it moving forward. And that'll be it. It's the purpose of it, I suppose. The big bit of the movement was it will always grow. It will continually move. It will continually change. How do we reflect and go forward? But yeah, on our website is the full opportunity to how to get involved, what to do for your video. There's promo information, and it's as easy as possible, hopefully, for organisations to get involved and to really reflect on that impact.
But do you know what, Graeme?
And Graham, I have a quick question. Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead, and then I'm going to ask you a
I
quick
was going
question.
to
Go
add
ahead.
something
Right.
to that. What I was going to add, Deborah, is I notice in your sentence you give an invitation. And I think the invitation for us is to think about how we can glean the insights, Graeme, because one of the things we're doing, Brendan's recruiting to his team. His team is going to be a lot bigger as we hit
Oh,
January. And it is not without the possibility that we can pull together an insight report of all of those leader to leader, inner confidence, things that are coming out. So I think that's something we could do. The other suggestion would be that we plough this into our global summit. So one thing we've not mentioned, Debra, is that we will be pulling together disability ERG leaders around the world in a triannual global summit. So the first one that will be out will be in 2024, where we will bring together disability ERG leaders around the world and offer a virtual summit. So again, and the kind of insights reports around what we heard around the inner confidence videos, Graeme, could be a nice warm-up paper to then invite ERG leaders to get together for the Global Summit in 2024. Just an idea. Policy on the hoof, but I'm liking it.
I love it. I love it. So, a quick question. I know that we're very proud we're Global Impact and Billion Strong. We've been involved in the past. Graham, should we still go out and sign up? Because I don't know that I have signed up. I mean, Kate, I'm blessed to be one of her ambassadors, but if we've done it before, should we all go and sign up so you know who's participating?
The tip I would give is to make it easy for us. As I say, that piece last year, I was up at 4 a.m. to make sure I witnessed our Australian and New Zealand organisations, and I was still going at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. I was a bit delirious, but I think the more the organisations let us know they're going to be involved, the more we can make sure that we are, looking out for it on the social media, or making sure we're seeing it. We don't want to miss any amazing opportunities to hear conversations. So yes, let us know. But yeah, you don't have to. You can go create it on the 3rd of December, put up your video, #PurpleLightUp. We will absolutely be looking out for it. But the more information we have, it's easier for us as an organisation to reflect afterwards and do, like Kate said, to pull a report, to be able to reach out and say, we've seen your video, can we have a conversation, or can we pull some information from you? So that the more information we have, the easier it is for us on the day. But there's no requirement. If you want to take part, take part. That's the beauty of the movement, is it's totally out with our control now. I don't think even the full team could comprehend catching up with everything that was on there, but that's beautiful, and it'll grow and it'll grow and it'll grow. So make it a little bit easier for us if you let us know. There's no requirement.
Right. But at the same time, if you're a brand that the community, we want to know what you're doing, I would highly recommend, whether you've done it in the past or not, sign up. And I will actually be going out there and signing up both my organizations. I know y'all know that we're involved, but I want to be involved in part of the possible research as well. So I would just highly recommend get involved, but also go out and let them know that you're involved so they can watch you and help turn it up and everything. So once again, it's always about we're stronger together. We're all stronger together. So, Graham, how do they go out and sign up for My Purple Space? And also, what are some things that some of the brands have done in the past? And Kate, you can come in here too if you want. I just love when people start turning up the purple on the buildings, but there's so many things you can do. So do you just mind giving a few examples of what's been done?
Yeah, absolutely. The easiest way to find out how to get involved, go onto our website, purplespace.org. There's a Purple Light Up section that's just been updated. The new Leader to Leader promo video is on there. There's a Get Involved section. For our members, there's a member support packs. There's lots of tools to get involved. As you say, the beauty of my role for this since last year's Light Up is reflecting and having conversations with organisations about what they did. So yes, I love the Niagara Falls lighting up purple, for example. I love seeing incredible beautiful buildings lighting up purple. I love seeing social media going purple. So we're seeing more of a digital purple light up as we come across the sustainability challenges, global climate challenges. We're seeing much more of a digital light up. Then you're also hearing of organisations who are doing things. For example, I spoke to one just recently who had their canteen, all their food had a purple colouring tint through it. It was to invoke that conversation of what are we doing? Why are we doing this? And start to have a conversation. So there's fun and exciting ways to engage your employees to understand what is it, get involved and grow. But there's no right or wrong way to be involved. Every organisation, its structure is different. Everybody's journey path is different. It's finding the way it works for you. And the beauty of our community is they support each other to learn from each other and support the growth of the movement.
Yes, with pride. So, Kate, I want you one more time to tell us the name of your book, and we can pre-order the book. And so when it's coming out, and also maybe you can also tell the audience how they can find, Graeme just said it, but I want to make sure that people know how to find out about the work and and where you are on social media. And
Wonderful.
so tell everybody how to find you.
Yeah, wonderful. So the book is called Positively Purple, and it's already available for pre-order. It comes out on the 3rd of October. First of all, in the UK, swiftly followed by the Americas. And the best outlets to get that on is Kogan Page directly. Kogan Page are the publishers. So getting onto their website, they do really good discounts for bulk orders, or from Amazon, or from any good book seller. So it's going to be widely available. In terms of
And where else is it going to be widely, Kate?
So
I'm sorry to interrupt. Where else is it going to be
available from
in every airport?
Every airport, yes. It should be every airport. Sorry, how cool is that? So Kogan Page.
I love that it's going to be available. Yeah.
So they're an international publisher, and they have stands on every airport book store around the world. So it'll be every airport, which is wonderful. But it'll also be translated into different languages. We don't know when, but of course the market dictates that. But I'm hoping, given the book has a central message about the experience of disability, which transcends geography and culture and political and economic circumstances. So I'm hoping very much that book will have resonance wherever it is. And then in terms of getting involved in Purple Light Up, just jump into our website, www.purplespace.org. Take a look at the Purple Light Up page. The work that Graeme has been doing this last year is all there. So there's member support package, but there's also lots of advice for those companies that are not members or not yet members and simply want to take part, want to join in the fun. And, coming back, Graeme shared how many different ways by which companies get involved, but invariably companies will launch a new product around that time, or they might launch a new policy, a new workplace accommodation or adjustment policy, or they might choose to launch a disability employee resource group for the first time. So it's all about recognizing, 1, we exist, 2, we work, and 3, we're choosing now to lean in and be out and loud and proud in the same way that Billion Strong so supportively engineers and nudges us. So yeah, come and join in. It's got something for everybody, and we'd love it if you buy the book too and pass it on. Pass on the tips.
Yes, and do a review. Just so important with the algorithm. But Kate, I wanted to give you an opportunity here to really tell HSBC and Graeme what you think about what he has done over this period of time. Sorry.
The short answer is, how long have you got? I'm just
space.
We were given the most incredible gift. So Ian Stewart, the chief executive of HSBC UK, works with his colleagues around the world. HSBC have been a huge supporter of Purple Space for a long time. And when they gifted us these 5 extraordinary individuals last year, I thought all of my Christmases had come at once. Now I know they did. That was the difference. I thought they might, and now I know that they did. So yeah, what Graeme has done has been inordinately successful. Not been an easy year for Purple Space for different reasons, but the work that Graeme did to, 1, broaden our reach, 1, 2, to make it easier for different companies to understand the role and the value of getting involved, and then creating a support pack, a very practical pack of information about how organizations can make the best of that opportunity. We don't talk about companies using Purple Light Up. That feels a little transactional. It's about leveraging the best features of a global movement that we have wonderfully lost control of, to make it easier for people to feel jolly good and build community. Graeme is one of the kindest, most gifted, most hardworking. We're going to miss him enormously. And I keep threatening I can super glue people's bottoms to the chair so that they can never leave. But he will. He will be.
He's got the purple bug though now.
Exactly. But Graeme will be one of our illustrious ambassadors, and he's got the purple bug, so you'll see him again and again, I'm sure, throughout his career. We're joined at the hip now, fellow traveller.
Yes. And thank you, HSBC. Thank you as a brand for, letting Graeme help, because this is how we change society. So Graeme, sorry to embarrass you, but we really are grateful. We're so grateful for everything that you've given to, with My Purple Space. So I also thank you. So, all right, we're going to end, but I want to give you each one more time to say goodbye to the audience and anything you want to say. So Graeme, since we tried to embarrass you, why don't we give you the final word, and then you can turn it over to the lovely Kate.
Thanks very much, Debra. Hearing that it's not embarrassing. It makes me incredibly proud. I'm very proud to have worked for HSBC, and it's gifted me so many things over my career. This opportunity being the most recent, and it's been incredible to be involved in this community. And you're right, I've got the purple bug, but I think it's the community that gave me that. As much as Kate's absolutely influenced my thinking in so many ways and changed my thought process for the future, the community is incredible to be involved in. The opportunities I've had to be involved with so many different organizations, so many different wonderful people, and hear about the passion about making that change and going forward has been incredible. And I encourage everybody to look and see how can they get involved, look at what options are available, look at what organizations have done last year. We saw great videos that were very high level of quality of presentation, but the conversation that's had, that's the focus. The things we heard and the kind of guerrilla effect of some of the videos from last year, it's a conversation, it's what's happened, it's the content. There's so many amazing opportunities to be involved, and I really look forward to hearing you and wonderful people speak this year.
I just have to clap. That was amazing. Okay, Kate, your turn.
My words are a simple expression of thanks, Debra. You know the expression to lead is to serve, and you epitomise that in abundance. So for us, it's one of thank you for getting the word out, for showcasing and spotlighting the work that we do, and indeed the book and Purple Light Up. So it's a word of thanks to you, and a gratitude for everything that you do with the different hats that you wear. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Lots of love.
Thank you. Thank you. And lots of love to you. I just so appreciate what you are doing. So thank you to the audience. Once again, www.purplespace.org. Kate Nash and Graeme Moffat are on LinkedIn, so you can find them. Join the conversations. And if you've done it before, but you haven't signed up, sign up so that they know. It's just going to be easier if we all go ahead and sign up so they know who's playing. because we all have a place to play. So thank you both. Thank you to the audience, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye, everyone.
Take care.
You've been listening to Human Potential at Work. To learn more about Rue Global Impact, visit rueglobal.com. And to learn more about Billion Strong, an identity and empowerment organization designed to bring the billions of voices of persons with disabilities together, you can join the global community and donate at billion-strong.org. That's billion-strong.org.